pas en pite.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about altcoins, right? So I meant to make this video this morning, but Mondays are especially hard for me. I've got the my daughter doesn't go to school or doesn't go to nursery on Mondays, so I've got one of the kids around pretty much all the time, and well, I mean, it's pretty high maintenance. She's 2. You can understand. So basically everything I do is massively rushed. So let's have a quick look at what I was going to say, and I suppose it's better to have it on a separate video anyway, about altcoins. So, excuse the clickbait. I mean, alt season, there is, and I've made a video on when I think and how an alt season is going to be generated. But generally speaking, across the board, we are looking at major corrective moves for altcoins. That doesn't mean that they're going to lose loads of money, you know, with Tether or real money, maybe, you know. But when it comes to their sats, it does look like sats will be drained. But if we go to, and this is just an overview of the overall Bitcoin dominance, we go to the Bitcoin dominance on the daily here. I do see that over the last 4 days in a row, rejection at the 200 exponential. Now, this is a bullish chart, right? So this chart is bullish. This resistance is very likely to break, and so we will continue up. And obviously, as we all know, up moves for Bitcoin dominance is usually a bad place to be if you're in larger altcoin positions. But for the moment, you know, it's possibly going to get a small rejection, possibly, maybe to here if they gain a bit further momentum, maybe down to the 50 exponential, and they're all uptrending, right? So we've got more or less a flat, you know, horizontal level of support, which is this 200 exponential has more or less gone horizontal. It's about 43% dominance, 43.3% dominance, and all of these moving averages are clearly ramping up, each one of them being a support, and as we all know, ascending triangles like this one are the bullish of the triangles, because every day that goes by the supports get higher and the resistance stays the same, and so it usually leads to a breakout. And we could break out in this small one here, which is a 10 exponential. We could break out from this one, which is the 20 to the 21, or we could break out from coming back down here and break out from here. So this could happen immediately. It could happen a week from now. It could happen beginning of next month. The case I'm making here is that it's going to happen. It's very, very likely to happen. So the main thing is that it's the 200 exponential as being your major area of resistance there. But while it's resistance, it does offer very small windows of opportunity to scalp altcoins. If you're like me and like to trade mostly with Bitcoin, so just trying to increase the amount of Bitcoin you got, stack the sats as they say, then there can be opportunity here, but this one isn't the same. It's not the greatest opportunity, I have to say, given the fact that we are looking for this to break out. So it is risky, but there is opportunity at resistance, and we are at resistance now. Not much opportunity, but there is some. And again, not all altcoin is created equal, so we're going to look right now, we're going to turn our attention to some altcoin charts. Bitcoin pairs, and these are basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top cap coins. I went on CoinMarketCap because it changes so frequently, so we're going to look at the top cap coins. The reason we're looking at top cap coins isn't because I'm particularly interested in any of these. It's because collectively they have the power, if they all share the same kind of setup, to maybe drive that resistance a little lower, you know. So I mean the support, so we could break down, you know, a little further, having a bit of a continuation vibe. And again, you know, we are going to look at this, and this is highly speculative, but the overall direction for the Bitcoin dominance is a breakout from here. And as we've been discussing for a while now, feels like forever, it's mainly the center of the Bollinger Band. The 20 weekly is the main is the main thing to look at here, and every time we broke down below it, it's resistance the entire time. Even this massive, or this huge alt season that we absolutely loved. I mean, this was the crypto dream. We are all very happy with what happened last year. And again, this is why I suppose at times of what would appear to be crypto crisis are the times of opportunity, because if anyone is around this period here where the Bitcoin dominance is going up, altcoins are getting severely wrecked, and so there's opportunity in wrecked charts, and you know, we absolutely loved this. This was one of the best calls I ever made, and one of the simplest ones as well, which is basically get an altcoin, choose your favourite, go to town, become, well, for many of us, millionaires. Really, it was pretty easy money, but now it's not quite so easy. But what we're seeing here is a rejection on the 20 weekly, a little bit of a breakout here, Nothing much to it. There was reasons for this. This was mainly in Bitcoin strength, and then rejections the entire time. Basically, altcoins refusing to give up the game. But a closure above the 20 weekly does push, in my opinion, up to at least the 50 exponential, and probably even higher to 52% dominant, which is a major area of resistance. And then if it does break any further than that, given the overall vibe of crypto these days and the strength of Ethereum and everything that's being built and NFTs and all this nonsense, I say nonsense, I love it really. We would expect probably a decent rejection and probably even a continuation down at that level. Altcoins are stronger than they've ever been. There's more purpose and utility to them than there has ever been. So it would be kind of foolish to underestimate the overall altcoin situation, but little bit by bit. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm reading a text message at the same time I was trying to do this. Highly unprofessional, but that's the nature of this channel. So yeah, in the short term though, yeah, we might get a little relief rally. So let's bring it back to these charts. Is there anything encouraging? Well, this is Ethereum on the 4 hourly, okay? Only a 4 hour, we're going to start with that. So it is turning up, so it does look like there is a possibility of a relief rally, but if there is a relief rally, it might not be that great. So we've got potential of 1.5% to the top of the range. To retest that 200 exponential on 4 hour, that's less than a 4% move. Not really offering much, although in the short term, that is very likely that could happen. Again, this is a Bitcoin pair. To the daily, what do we see on the daily? Looking like a continuation of a corrective move. So unlike Bitcoin, which does appear that the lows are potentially in, we've broken out this descending trend, we've got signals on the 4 hourly, they've all finished now, and we're kind of getting a support on the 20 exponential plus the 4 hourly 200 exponential, which is what we were looking for a retest, and we could even come down lower. Again, this is why altcoins are a bit of a deadly place to be in general at the moment, because there's going to be corrective moves potentially still on that 4 hourly before we continue up, but it does look quite good. You transfer that over to an Ethereum chart, it's not quite the same. We don't have a breakout of the descending trend line here. In fact, we've not even come up to test it. If we were to come up to test it, and again, we're asking for a lot here, that's a 6, almost a 7% move if it were to happen today. And essentially what we're looking at here is a descending triangle, so it's the opposite of what we're seeing on the Bitcoin dominance chart, so more likely to break bearish. So we are looking for this to effectively break down, so it looks like it's continuing with a corrective move. That would be consistent with expecting Bitcoin dominance to continue to go up in the midterm, you know, on the weekly. So we're talking weeklies for the long term. Short term, we're talking dailies, and they're only very small moves, right? So that's Ethereum, looking like it could potentially move up, maybe there, and at best to the top of here before it continues down to at least the support and maybe break down from there. Ethereum, that's Ethereum for you. Done. XRP. So this is a wild beast and definitely different to all the other charts, but not looking particularly not looking particularly happy with its Bitcoin pair, but it is better than most, surprisingly. I know it sounds shocking and bizarre and strange. It does seem different, right? So Ichimoku cloud, we can play this now. So we've just got this green portion of the cloud over here. So we've got one signal, and remember, you've got to have 4 signals. 2 cross above the cloud and Chiku span above price action. Do you know what this is? This is a continuation signal, my friends. This is and this is going to warrant another video. I am definitely going to have to make an XRP video about this, because this is a signal. Might not play, but a lot of the time they do. So this actually means, not guaranteed, it's just risk to reward, but this generally means that we're going to get a trend form on this chart, right? A trend, believe it or not, form on this chart. So XRP gets a big tick right there. Doesn't have to happen immediately. It'll be subject to the market, but this is a signal that generally almost always plays out the vast majority of the time. But you know, don't sue me. I do have a disclaimer at the beginning of the video now, but that's what that means. This is a good signal, and on a daily as well, which would generally suggest a trend will begin at this more or less around here. Doesn't mean that it's going to begin at this price level. So don't put your life's earnings and your kidneys and God knows what else you need to sell to put money into a 100x long. Don't do it. But it's actually a good signal, and it's a good looking chart. It's better than most anyway. So that's actually good. So believe it or not, XRP is doing something different to the rest of the market, better than Ethereum, which looks like it's continuing with a corrective move. Luna to BTC, I don't really look at Luna much at all, but looking at what we see here, it does look like it wants to continue with its overall downwards trajectory. What do we have here? We do actually have bullish divergence on the RSI, so there is a chance that this one does have a breakout before it potentially comes down. It doesn't have any buy signals or anything on it like that. It just has a daily bullish divergence on the RSI, and it's only 2 ticks at that, so it's not much, and it could easily come down once more before it maybe creates another tick, but they're quite weak, but it could happen. So maybe we push up a little further on this one before we go down. So let's just have a quick look. So yeah, this one could do a big push up, but again, overall relatively corrective. If we're looking at this on a horizontal time frame, I'd slice a little line through it like that, and would say that effectively 0.0015, so 15,000 sats basically is its make or break zone. I don't think it's quite got the power to do that, but anything's possible. But I don't think it's got the power to break above there. So it does look like it's going to continue with a corrective move there. So Luna is up on the day, let's face it, it's okay for the moment. And remember, we're just talking scalp trades, but maybe not with XRP, but with those other two, Ethereum and Luna. BNB, what are you up to at the moment? Yeah, this is definitely corrective as far as the chart's concerned here. Not managed to get a positive cross on the histogram yet. There's no real way to map that out. There's no divergence taking place there, not really. I mean, you could argue it's a little bit, but it's so slim that I wouldn't count it for anything. So this looks like it wants to continue with a corrective move. So this one will have its sats most likely taken away from it by Bitcoin, over the next few weeks and months, until we reach a much larger area of Bitcoin dominance on a weekly, 52, maybe 56, 58% dominance. Again, I'm talking on a weekly there. So when you wake up tomorrow morning and go, but Bitcoin dominance is going down, you were wrong. I'm talking on a much longer term time frame there. And again, it doesn't have to happen, but it does look like this is going to be the nature of it. So BNB, unfortunately, losing out to Bitcoin overall there. I think Bitcoin's going to gain on it over the next few weeks and months. Sol, again, Sol not looking like the pillar of strength. We do have a descending trend on the RSI here. I imagine we'll stay within it. We do have bullish divergence brewing on it, though, and it'll be easy to recognize if this has an RSI breakout and a retest and continuation. So maybe this is an outlier, definitely. There's no reason to suggest otherwise, but at the moment it's going to continue with its corrective pattern, probably get a third drive of bullish divergence, most likely a push up, rejection from here, maybe we'll get a breakout on the third attempt. So maybe looking for one more low to be put in on this before it does a decent relief rally, probably only up to a 200 exponential really on a daily. And if that were to happen like from this little green candle that we see now, that's a 22% move. So you can imagine if we do have one more move down to complete 3 stages of bullish divergence, then that'll be a lower low form, and it could be a much better move at that. So Sol brewing a potential move up, but again, overall corrective, not looking particularly happy. And let's have a look at ADA. What's this thing doing? Everybody's favourite, not at the moment. It's breaking down from a major level of support, looking to probably retrace all the way down to 2,000 sats, which is a nice round number, and people who like to trade ADA do like round numbers, I've noticed. So that would be one that you'd be looking for. Any divergence on this one? Well, yeah, actually, quite long standing bullish divergence, so this does suggest that maybe this could be a nice big push up. Remember, these are just relief rallies. Look at the sats that have been drained out of ADA since the beginning of since the top of there, so 61% down. This is why I always say, trading, I like to trade with Bitcoin pairs because I like to increase the amount of Bitcoin I've got. Bitcoin goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways, but generally speaking, I look at Bitcoin as my overall balance. I'm not a maximalist, I'm not anything like that. I hold plenty of altcoins blindly as well, tucked away in a ledger. And some of them underperform, some of them overperform. They just stay there. That is what they are. They do what they do. They're like an investment from, well, I suppose majority of them about 18 months ago, really, at much lower levels. So I'm not stressed out about downtrends on them. But when it comes to mainly trading spot, I do like to try to, where possible, take profit into Bitcoin. Because like I say, it goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways. But the overall Bitcoin balance that I have, only increases by its number, not by the amount that it's worth. Look, I've got I'm not boasting, but I've got enough to see me through. Do you know what I mean? I've got enough to see me through. I'm trying to build for the future. You know what I mean? Both my kids have got a Bitcoin each now for when they grow up. And well, I'll have to do a risk assessment to see how mature they are before I hand over the keys to them. But that's the idea. When people talk about generational wealth, I mean, this is kind of my way of doing it through spot trading. It's not always possible. Sometimes you have to trade tether, especially with shit coins. You've got not really much option, and that's fine. But it does look like Bitcoin is going to gain on the vast majority of these over the midterm. For maybe time-wise it's difficult, but as we're looking at a weekly on the Bitcoin dominance, it would suggest that this hasn't really begun an uptrend yet. When we do get these major uptrends begin on Bitcoin, they kind of have big lulls, don't they? And they take about 3 months or so from bottom to peak. Yeah, we're looking about 3 to 4 months worth of maybe an uptrend beginning, so that could lead us up into the summer before we have any major alt season. And again, I am talking right now about this video specifically saying that we might have some relief rally on altcoins now, as we are on a daily resistance, which is usually a very strong level of resistance. We go back in time, we do get reactions, good and bad, from the 200 exponential. We've not reached it in a long time, and actually there's not that much far to go down in comparison to how it's been in the past. Reaction from it here, we could potentially get a reaction here, so we are looking at a potential downside for Bitcoin dominance ever so slightly, like I say, for scalp trades. But overall this does look like it's going to break out. We've got an Ichimoku cloud signal generated as well, not for a continuation drive but for a push up. So on the next move down on here, we gain a support. I imagine that will be the one that launches it, whether that's for the good of the market or for the bad of the market. So if the Bitcoin pulls the market down, Bitcoin will lose far less than altcoins. If Bitcoin breaks out, altcoins are probably going to fall behind anyway. So Bitcoin is probably the better place to be if you want to try scalps. That's completely up to you. But the overall direction of this is going to be up 52% potentially, and if that breaks 57, 58, that's where the alt season will begin, and the alt season will be brilliant. And this is effectively where I will flip my Bitcoin into altcoins. I'll look at the altcoin charts just like I've done now, a bit more interested than just the top cap ones. I'll have a look at how they appear. If they've got setups at the same time that we approach these zones here or here, then that is excellent time to turn one Bitcoin into 2, 3, 4 or 5. But for the moment it does look like the opposite is likely to happen between now and, well, maybe the summer. Like I say, we've recognized that these little mountains that are generated on the Bitcoin dominance chart take about 3 to 4 months to fully complete, and that would likely take us into the summer and stuff. But yeah, I thought I'd make that video, and it's probably best I made it separately because it would have made this morning's video probably a bit too long. So overall, and I don't want everyone to get completely scared and panicked out of any positions or whatever. Like I say, I am holding plenty of altcoins that I bought mostly around these periods, really. Obviously not down at these levels. I wouldn't buy altcoins at a Bitcoin dominance support, but I've been holding on to them for quite a long time when altcoins were absolutely on their ass and nobody wanted them. At the moment, people still want them. They love them, absolutely love them, right? And that's okay, because in the end, we've looked at this on the live streams before. You could have bought altcoins. Some of the ones that we were looking at throughout the history of this channel, you could have bought any other time around here. And people suffered really badly for a long period of time, and all was forgiven in the end, because the money, well, it rotates most of the time. This is why I just try to make the most of the rotation. It used to be a better way to trade crypto in the past, when the entire market cap was less than $500 billion for the vast majority of this bull run. It's only recently, really, where it's become like a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. And so making the most out of every little tiny slice of price action using the Bitcoin dominance and the rotation, and it has always been one of my main ways to trade. But become less so now that the Bitcoin dominance has been trashed, so it does require it to actually change this so we can make the most of a major rotation. So Bitcoin obviously is probably the best thing to have anyway, especially as you approach these historical lows, and again they are historical, so it was unlikely to break. There was always a chance that it could have broken down lower, and it still could, and it might do eventually, but for the moment it's forming all the things that you need to see form to suggest an uptrend on the Bitcoin dominance. So altcoins, and again not all of them, like I said, we've already established that XRP is actually the only one out of all the top cap coins right there that has any particular signals on it, and a decent one at that. But most of them are in corrective phases still, not in a very good position with their price to moving averages, and no buy signals on them, and maybe a little bit of bullish divergence generating that could offer a bit of relief, and that's all we're looking for at this particular moment, literally right at this particular moment. And maybe at some point this week we'll get a relief rally again, similar to the beginning of last week. If we do get one of those, you do have to be careful and take profit on them. Don't get too greedy, because not now, to me, doesn't feel like the time to hold any particular new entries on altcoins for a prolonged period of time. The better time is going to be as we approach these levels, probably in the summer. Right, I'll leave it with you there, but thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.
Pump it.